welcome to Flipgrid 1 for the second half of Spanish. This Flipgrid is different than the ones we did in the first or second quarter because it requires you to create with the language and give personal meaning rather than just demonstrate that you've memorized phrases that I taught you. Pay attention to the directions, have them in front of you. You can even write down what you're going to say before you say it. The one thing I caution you against is using Google Translate. If you do use Google Translate instead of creating with the language with what we've been learning this quarter in the first 6 days, I will be able to tell and I'll be asking you to redo your Flipgrid. And redos on a Flipgrid, you can't earn better than a C. You don't want to do that. So take a risk, try your best based on what we've learned so far. The goal of this Flipgrid is to describe yourself using adjectives and other information, and also to describe a loved one. The choices I'm going to give you for the loved ones are your grandparent, abuelo or abuela, your sibling, hermano or hermana, your mom or dad, madre, padre, and I think I said mejor amigo, which would be your best friend. You pick that person and you need to have a picture of them that you can show me. If there's some reason that you don't want to have a picture, that's okay. It's just more fun, but I recognize that some of you have concerns about the internet and publishing pictures. When you describe your family member, which by the way also included tío and tía, uncle and aunt, you're going to introduce them saying este es for a masculine, so este es mi padre, or este es mi hermano, or esta es for feminine, so esta es mi madre, esta es mi hermana. After you've introduced them using that phrase, then you're going to tell me 3 to 4 adjectives using es or ser, and then you're going to describe their hair and their age and their eyes using tener or tiene. Then you're going to use usar or usa to describe what they're wearing. When you describe what they're wearing, don't forget to include the colors and have at least 3 items of clothing included. And then you're going to say where they're from and where they live. I'm going to go ahead and describe my daughter, Emily. Esta es mi hija, Emily. Ella es amable, aventurera y inteligente. Ella tiene el pelo corto, rubio y lacio. Ella tiene los ojos azules. Ella tiene 24 años. Ella usa una chaqueta negra, camiseta blanca, falda negra y zapatos negros. Ella es de Oregon. Ella vive en Portland. La quiero mucho. So that would be the description of the other person. Hopefully you'll have a picture. I didn't have one with me today, and some of you might not either. The next one, you have to describe yourself. You're going to give your name. After you give your name, you're going to also use ser and adjectives to describe yourself. Remember, the adjectives are on page 11. So you could say yo soy and then 3 or 4 adjectives. You might want to say what you're not as well with no soy. Use tener to describe your hair, eyes, and your age. And then uso or usar to describe what you're wearing and tell where you're from and where you live. So now I'm going to do the second part, which is describing yourself. Me llamo maestra. Yo soy lista, amable y trabajadora. No soy perezosa. Tengo pelo largo, ondulado y rojo. Tengo los ojos azules. Yo tengo 50 y pico años. Yo soy de Oregon. Yo vivo en Weimar. Uso suéter rojo, pantalones grises y zapatos negros. So that's the entire Flipgrid. I hope that you can use the textbook to help you with the adjectives. It's on page 11. And do your best on this work. I'll see you soon.